All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to make a quick video. If you're watching this, you've probably already seen all the repair work that's going on these doors, as well as making the door skins that we have right here. This is actually a little in-between video. In the process of making the door skins, I kind of ran into a situation where I needed a shrinker stretcher foot-operated stand because of the size of these door skins. Anytime you're making a door skin, you've got to fold the edge over, which is going to wrap around the door. And when you've got something like this with a lot of shape in it, or really just any kind of panel, is not going to be perfectly straight. But what happens when you tip that edge over or fold that edge over, you need to either shrink or stretch that edge to kind of get it back into shape. You can see this door has got shape going in two different directions. So when I tip this edge, it's going to probably lose some of that actual shape it needs. So we're going to have to probably go back and do a little shrinking, a little stretching on the edge just to get it back into position so that it fits the door as it should. Now, I'm trying to do that by myself, such a large piece, trying to operate that thing by hand and hold such a thing is not going to happen. So I wanted to go ahead and make one, and making it proved to be a bit better than buying it because I was able to kind of get it roughly the size I wanted to. And I found one little thing that I wanted to do to it that makes it a little bit better than buying one, which you could probably modify that one to do the same thing. But I wanted to make sure it was going to function as well as I needed to. All right, so here's what I built. This is my shrinker stretcher stand. These are the Harbor Freight Central Machinery brand shrinker stretchers. This is all some leftover tubing here. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom and kind of go over everything with you. What I've got at the very top, we've got some 3/16 1.5 by 1.5 angle iron. These are about 8 inches long right here. They're welded to the top of this post, which is a 2x3 16 gauge piece of tubing. It was actually a piece of an old frame rail from way back when that was an extra cutoff. But from the top here to the lower part of the base, which I'll show you in a minute, about 38 inches tall. So that gives me a pretty good height from where the actual tool is. So that's about 41 inches, I believe, right here to the tooling. All right, so as far as the actuator rods, what we've got here is a piece of the original handle. We just cut that off, and then I added a piece of 1 inch by 8 flat bar. I rounded this off, or basically folded it around the old stem, and then drilled me a 3/8 hole, put in a 3/8 female Heim end, and using 3/8 24 bolt, welded that to a piece of 3/8 round stainless steel rod to work as the actual actuator rod. These here, this is 4.5 inches from this pivot point to the bolt. So that's the exact same dimension I used down at the bottom at the pivot. I'll show you. That way we could maintain about a 1-to-1 ratio between the pedal and the top. All right, so moving on down, what you'll see is obviously we've got a spring to help everything return back. But what I've got is the same at the bottom down here on the actuator rod, another 3/8 rod end, just so it had a good smooth operation. I could have done this a little more simpler, but I did want kind of a good smooth operating system, something I could put a little oil on and make it last for a very long time. Now on the pedals themselves, these are 1.5 16 gauge tubing. They're 18 inches long. I've got another little piece of metal just as a foot pad here that I found in the corner, made 2 of those. The tabs here are the 1 inch by 1/8 of an inch flat iron that I just cut me some little 1x1 squares, drilled a 3/8 hole in, and welded 2 sets of these on, which I'll get to later. But as I was talking about with the pivot, from this bolt here to the bolt that's behind here, it's about 4.5 inches, which is the same as above. So that's about a 1-to-1 ratio with everything operating. Now again, some more 3/16 1.5 angle right here. This is about a 9-inch piece that I actually cut the lower edge of the angle off right here. So it would act kind of like a flat bar going all the way across, give a little more support. That's welded off. I've got a 3/8 bolt back here, and I've actually got a washer between the arm and the bracket just to kind of keep it from rubbing the paint once I actually paint it. And then there's another little piece of angle right here to help strengthen it up to provide some extra material thickness, since the thickness of this square tubing is very thin, being 16 gauge. And then moving down, we've got the rest of the 2x3 tubing I had. So this section down here is 2 foot wide, and then I've got 2 pieces of 2 foot wide, 1.5 inch angle. So the whole base covers a 2x2 area. That's the amount of room it's going to take up in the shop floor. Now, one other little thing was I took an extra little piece of metal, obviously, and made a stop. That way it would give someplace solid for it to return to every time. All right, so one of the reasons I built this is I wanted to make the dimensions kind of more user-friendly to me, so I knew exactly whether or not this thing was going to be capable of doing these door skins. And one of the things I came across was the fact that you have to use it. If I'm working this tool, I have to be facing the tool. And that's one of the reasons I put these extra set of tabs down that lower arm, is I wanted to be able to actually work this tool from the other side if needed. Now, so for instance, we've got these door skins here that we're going to tip the edges on. This thing has just got enough height to be able to fit into tooling, but I can't use my foot because the door skin's in the way. So I need to be able to operate it from the opposite side. All right, so that's why I pin this in. So I can simply unpin this rod that operates, say, my shrinker. I can move the rod to the other pedal. And by doing that, now I can operate this tool from this side. Now I have to take the other one undone here. It provides a little bit more weight than necessary there, so it doesn't want to return right. Now I can operate the tool from the back side, and I'll be able to shrink that edge. Or if I need to come up with it, you know, now I can actually operate it this way, and I can really see how much depth I'm getting in there to be able to actually get it correct the way I want to. Now, another good thing is if I need to get these out of the way, they pop right out. So I can take the entire rod out of the way, and now I have plenty of room to actually be able to make whatever piece I need. All right, so hopefully this helps some of y'all out. If you're looking to build one of these on your own, just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I did. I'm sure there might be something better out there, but I think this works really, really well, and it's going to come in handy for that. If you're watching this, that video is probably already out, so I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what I was doing. This thing may or may not have paint on it next time you see it if you haven't already seen that video, but the doors are ready to put the skins on. And now that I've got this made, we can keep on rolling with the door skins. So hopefully you learned a little something. If you did, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and tap that bell, and I'll catch you on the next one.